And here we go. Welcome in to another edition of Bucky and BK. Today is Friday, July 17th, 2026. And the Buck and I are not with you for the next 2 hours. Another load management day for the Buck. So joining me today, a familiar face, familiar voice, a familiar friend of the people, a local legend, a hometown hero, some might say, and I am some. Rodney Rodriguez co-hosting with me on a Friday show. Double R, how we doing today, my man?
BK, I'm that guy that you see on the post office wall. That's what you call a local legend right there. Williamson County famous or infamous.
Hey, put me on the post office instead of being on a milk carton. I'll take that.
Hey, man, absolutely. Absolutely. Great to be with you, man. And I have to say, before we fire into the fun stuff, what a week for the weather. God bless it. The power of Mother Nature and the power of water and all of these different things. You just kind of sit back sometimes, and I mean, I'm not making light of the situation, but it's like, my goodness, it is unbelievable how this happens.
Yeah, absolutely. Thoughts and prayers to the folks in Fredericksburg and in various parts of the Texas Hill Country and really all over the state. Crazy rain, crazy floods, and seeing some of the lake levels, seeing what the Pedernales River has done over the last couple of days. I mean, it's pretty wild out there. So hopefully the heavy stuff is behind us now. But yeah, we have had some wild and wacky weather. Of course, we all remember what happened last year in early July. Thankfully this stuff not seemingly as bad as that, but yeah, a lot of folks impacted by what's been going on. So thinking about y'all, and hopefully the weekend brings us some better weather and some better news. But yeah, we need that weather update with the Buck out today. So thank you, my man.
And, you know, it was odd. I guess it was yesterday where I was kind of watching a couple of different things, and they're talking about this wall of rushing water somewhere out, heading towards Johnson City. And it's like something that you'd see in like a sci-fi movie or something. I'm just imagining this. And then I saw some of the footage, and yeah, it was real. It was real.
Who's paying for that? Well, that's a different wall, I think. Different wall. Oh, man. Well, as the Buck always says, good day to the soldiers. Fort Hood, Texas, the soldiers in the state of Texas, and all those fighting for us each and every day all over the world. We appreciate your service and sacrifice and all you do for us. And we appreciate your families as well. Everybody be safe out there. Head on a swivel. And happy Friday. They let us get to another Friday here in Central Texas. I can't believe they did, but we are grateful that is the case. So plenty of sports, plenty of fun to dive into. Y'all know how it goes when Double R is in the building. We are 50 days away from Texas football. We've got some updated Vegas lines for the 2026 season. And, good news if you were a believer in the folks out in the desert. We'll talk some NFL. NFL executives, coaches, and scouts have ranked the top 10 quarterbacks in the NFL. We'll get to that list. We'll also dive into some Cowboys conversation. It's now official. George Pickens will play the upcoming season on the franchise tag in Big D. No surprise. We've kind of known it was trending that way, but we'll talk some Cowboys football. We'll get into a little second half MLB preview. We've got the World Cup final on Sunday, the latest with LeBron James. And, we've got to have an extended BBK news with Rodney in the building. So plenty of sports, plenty of fun to be had by all. And I guess we'll dive into a little Longhorn football conversation here as, again, 50 days away from Texas kicking off the 2026 season at home against Texas State. We are 43 days away from week 0, the very first college football games of the year kicking off. So close that we can basically taste it. And I've got 7 lines for the 2026 regular season. Obviously, the Longhorns will play 12 games, but we've got 7 updated lines, look-ahead lines, if you will, that are already out there for Texas. And we'll go one by one with these, but I'll say right now, right off the bat, Texas is favored in all 7 of these games, and there's some big ones we're about to get into. So, we expect the Longhorns to be ranked pretty high in the polls when they come out. We're talking about all these preseason lists and honors and accolades, and Texas is getting all sorts of love. But Double R, a theme that we're about to dive into is there are a lot of folks out there very high on this Texas football team going into this season.
And this is where I've said probably ad nauseum for a lot of people to where this year it is more expected. to her. Last year was very much, if you want to call it a pipe dream, whatever you want to call it, the expectations and everything that was laid out preseason. But now, just with everything that's gone on, with addressing areas of need and so forth, and then just other changes that have happened that maybe we didn't see coming, like Coach Boom making his way back here to Austin. These lines, these expectations, these playoff projections, it's all due. It's all due and it's deserved. Now there's the little piece of it, the execution part. Which a lot of times is where you get the flaw in the coleslaw, if you know what I'm talking about. So.
100%. I like that expression right there. And there were plenty of flaws in that coleslaw last year. And look, people were high on Texas, but maybe there weren't as many reasons to be high on Texas as there are this year with everything the Longhorns lost in last year's NFL draft. And they didn't hit the portal as hard as I thought they should have. And Arch Manning wasn't quite ready for last year, and it wasn't all his fault. The guys around him weren't ready. We know what happened. It's, we're beating a dead horse at this point, but with what Texas did, they didn't lose as much. And with what they added, both in the portal and with another top 10 recruiting class, numerous reasons for optimism around here. So week 1, 50 days from now, no surprise, Texas is a pretty heavy favorite against our friends from San Marvelous. The Longhorns minus 30.5 against Texas State on that look-ahead line. That's an interesting one. Texas obviously much more talented than Texas State. It'll be the Pac-12 debut for the Bobcats. Ooh. Don't forget, I'm calling that a power conference game. Boom. I might be the only one. It's a home game. It's going to be hot, 2:30 on September 5th. And obviously you've got the months and months of buildup and anticipation. Texas definitely ready to play another team. I think they already are. And by the time we get towards the end of fall camp, they definitely will be. But you've got that also coupled with the fact that everybody knows what's coming 7 days after that against Ohio State. So your way too early thoughts on a 30 and a hook line for the Horns and the Bobcats.
Seems a little high. It honestly seems a little high to me, especially for being game 1. And then just the different ways that you can look at this. What I want to see in game 1 out of this team is I want to see that fast start, and I want to see that defense be what we think it's supposed to be. If you happen to win by 30 and a hook, that's great. But I want to see domination. I don't want to see hesitation. I want to see how the offense is going to adapt with the new weapons that are there now. Are you still going to be so reliant on the tight end? I mean, maybe we don't see that until Ohio State and games of more matter. But it seems a little high, but I want to see fast. I mean, if Texas wins this by 2024, I'm fine with that. So it does seem like a little bit of a reach. It really does. Hey, look, Texas State, they're going to be fired up to come down here. They are going to be fired up to come down here. They're going to travel. I think they're going to give a little pushback, but I don't really see this being much of a contest.
I always love when Texas plays Texas State, and it doesn't happen in football very often. I mean, we see it in baseball typically twice a year, every year. They haven't played in football since 1930. Wow. That's the only time these two teams have ever played a football game against one another. If you were curious, Texas won that game 36-0. I think Bucky was coaching for the Longhorns in that one. There will be people at DKR Texas Memorial Stadium on September 5th who are wearing Texas State shirts, the burgundy and gold that they rock?
Yep.
That will be wearing burnt orange and white 7 days later when Ohio State comes to town. That's how so many Texas State fans and grads are fans of the Longhorns, but when your school's playing Texas, we're going to root for our school, but then we're going to root for Texas every other week. So it's going to be there's obviously going to be plenty of Texas State fans there. It's going to be a brutal game. I mean, start hydrating now if you are going to be in the building. Not done any favors by the TV partners getting a 2:30 kick in early September. That's going to be rough. But, the crowd's going to be a fun one there for sure. Interesting stat I'm seeing in my Phil Steele. Texas 5-2 against the spread in their last 7 season openers. I would take Texas to cover right now. And I do think the Longhorns are going to keep things pretty vanilla. They're not going to show a whole lot, again, because we know what's coming with Ohio State. And I do understand most of the Longhorns, game planning when we get to fall camp in early August, will be about Ohio State. You don't need to spend that much time, even though Sark will say, we're only focused on Texas State. We know how this works. I think Texas can keep things vanilla. I think Texas can maybe have their attention somewhere else and still just be talented enough to be 31 points or more better than Texas State. So I would lean with a Horns, 5-touchdown, maybe a 35-point victory here on a July 17th.
What I'm going to be honed into this game for as well is, obviously this is one that you could say a look ahead game, whatever, because of what's coming up 7 days after that one. And that's something that you do see. But what I want to be locked in on, and I don't really look at this as part of a game that you don't really care to play. I don't want to see sloppy play because that was such a big thing last year. I don't want to see penalties. I don't want to see any of that because look, it's your home crowd. It's going to be a great atmosphere with the folks coming in also. So I want to see clean stuff. I don't want to see turnovers. I want to see special teams if they're going to factor in. Look, you've got a new kicker, you've got a new punter, you've got a lot of different variables that I want to see all of that kind of mold itself and see how it's going to roll out and see how that's because that's going to set the tone. Yeah. That's going to set your tone. And if you come out and you have those problems, we're all going to sit here and talk on that following Monday about, okay, what really got fixed in the offseason? We're seeing the same sloppiness.
No, 100%. And Texas was very sloppy for the first month, through almost 2 months of last season. I would like to not see the punter very much in that game.
Oh, yeah.
And I only want to see the kicker on extra points. So I don't want to be settling for field goals too much in that game. But you're right. Like, look, for the folks who call up their cousins and put some coin on these games, they're going to care about the final score. But for a lot of folks, it's going to be maybe the eye test mattering more. Like, if it's a backdoor cover for Texas State when the Longhorns have their third and fourth teamers in, again, the non-Brendan Sorsby fans are going to be like, this is fine, no big deal. Our starters look great. We're ready to go for Ohio State. But if it's, penalties and Arch looks a little off like he did to start last season and the offensive line is still struggling and Will Muschamp's defense, they don't know what to do. Those are obviously the things that would give people some hesitation going into week 2. And look, there's examples both ways. Like Jake brings up the 2023 game against Rice where Texas looked a little sluggish. They didn't cover. It was the game before Alabama where the Longhorns went on the road to Tuscaloosa. I think there were Texas fans who were like, oh, God, we looked this bad against Rice. How are we going to beat Bama? They did. So every week is different. But, the week before or the year before, Texas whipped up on ULM before Alabama came to town. And in 2024, Texas beat Colorado State 52-0 before they went to Ann Arbor and played at the Big House. So there are examples, I guess, both ways of the Steve Sarkisian era where if week 2 is a big game, Texas has been buttoned up, ready to go in week 1, or they've been a little bit sluggish. I think they're going to be more of the buttoned up, ready to go this time around.
Yeah, and what you obviously hope that you get out of this is that you have you have your first team on both sides of the ball. You have them, they come out, they do what they need to do. Texas gets in a comfortable spot, and then at that point you can work on depth. You can go and you work on depth and you get these guys because look, I'm curious to watch this running back room because we're talking about the 2 dudes that have come, 3 guys that have come in here. You still got 3 guys stacked behind them. Where are they going to factor in? Is this when they're going to get their playing time? You got to have those guys ready to go. And that's at the same time with the offensive line. We haven't seen them play in a game. We will not have seen them play in a game until that game against Texas State. Those guys get some reps, get some continuity, get that communication. So much happens on the offensive line in a raucous atmosphere, the communication that those guys have to have, and with the center being the anchor and so forth. So that's the stuff that I want to see, but I do. You said buttoned up. That's what I don't want to see any uncertainty. I don't want to get going into the half and it's 14-10. Mm-hmm. That's
That'd be a problem
that you want to see from this group coming out.
That would be a problem because then you're not going to see your third and fourth teamers as much as you would like because you're going to need to leave your starters in to make sure you avoid a catastrophic upset. So, let's avoid that. So that's week 1. Again, Texas and Texas State. These are updated lines for the upcoming season, according to DK Sportsbook. What is that, Donkey Kong? Is that DK Metcalf? Who's making these lines? I don't know.
Daryl K.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, no wonder the line's so high.
I like that. Well, then we go to week 2 in the game that everybody's focused on. We're counting down 50 days away from the start of the season, but for a lot of people, it's 57 days until an opportunity to get some revenge against the Ohio State Buckeyes from the last 2 meetings. And the Longhorns first time they're playing at home against Ohio State in this 3-game stretch, and also the first time the Longhorns are favored against Ohio State in this 3-game stretch. Texas -1.5 against Ohio State. So it's very close to a pick 'em. It's basically Vegas telling you that, if this game was in Columbus, the Buckeyes would be favored like they were last year. Your thoughts, is this finally the time where Texas can get over the Buckeye hump, or are you still nervous about this one, Double R?
I will say, to kind of preface that it's going to be really cool to watch how this line fluctuates as we get closer, especially after week 1. I mean, God forbid, like we're talking about, Texas pitches a stinker against Texas State. Not a loss, but not a commanding win. I mean, how does that change? But I'm pretty comfortable with this. I do think that this is the time. I go back to this kind of, what year was that? 04, 05, when Texas did beat Ohio State. And that was kind of something that vaulted that group into national championship status. And I know I live in the past a lot with different things, but I just watch trends, and I think that this could be that game that's going to flip and set the path for the rest of the season. Obviously, I'm taking Texas about a 6 or 7 point win in this at home. Yeah, I'm pretty confident in this one right here.
So I'm sorry to be negative, because it is a Friday and we're supposed to be having a good time, and maybe don't shoot the messenger here. But I've got the Phil Steele Bible in front of me. By the way, I do believe Bucky and I will be talking to Phil Steele on this program sometime next week. So stay tuned for that. But Phil Steele, on his college football preview magazine, he always gives some betting tips, and he talks about those trends that you were just bringing up, Double R. And since 2006, Phil Steele mentions that the Longhorns are 2-7 against the spread against the Big Ten Conference. Both of those covers have come against Michigan. And the Longhorns went on the road in 2024 at the Big House, and then the bowl game last year. We know Texas owns Michigan. I don't have any problems with those cheaters, but everybody else in the Big Ten has been a bit of a problem from a Vegas perspective. And how about this for Ohio State? They've won 3 straight games against the SEC. They've covered in all 3. They've won 14 straight road openers. Now, some of that predates Ryan Day, and every year's different and every team's different. So some of y'all might hear that and shake your head and throw that out the window and say, BK, none of that matters. Ohio State's won 14 straight road openers. They're 11-2-1 against the spread in those 14 games. So if you're looking at those types of betting trends, then obviously not good for the Longhorns. And if you're looking at the last 2 games between these 2 squads, obviously not good for the Longhorns. Bucky has called this one a must-win numerous times on this show. It'd be a really nice to win for me. I mean, if not now, win. Like, I agree with you. I do think this is the time Texas gets this done. But if they don't, then how are you ever going to feel confident going up against an Ohio State or a Georgia? And it goes beyond them, like just a team on that level. How are you going to feel like Texas is a true national championship contender if with this year's team that a lot of people are saying is the most talented we've had around here in 2 decades, and I am very confident saying this is the best team Steve Sarkisian has had in his 6 years in Austin, and you're getting that game at home, if this isn't the time you could beat Ohio State, then when's it going to happen?
Yeah. Everyone's going to have an opinion, but that will be the large opinion on a national scale. Again, not that opinions count, but a lot of times they do, just for S and G's. But Texas has to get over this hump, and you have to beat Ohio State. Yeah. If friends that I talk to from around the country when it comes to Texas football, it's the same 2 obstacles that I hear from everybody that's going to give me a rash of crap. Can't beat Ohio State. You can't beat Georgia. Of course, you don't have Georgia on the schedule right now. You don't need to be worrying about Georgia. You need to worry about Ohio State, because that's a huge, tall task. But everything is built right here for you. And you've done all your shopping. You've gone to the Mini Max. You've gone to the TJ Maxx and the Marshalls, and you've got everything that you need, BK. So like you're saying, I mean, what do you got to do? Go to Costco if you can't do it?
Hell, now. They've been more than the rack stores. They've been to Gucci. They've been to Dolce and Gabbana. I mean, they've been to New York City and done their shopping at Times Square in the transfer portal. So if that I thought they were bargain bin hunting last offseason. This
Yeah.
year, they were going to the big stores, the designer shops. If that's not enough, and look, I'm not sitting here trying to make it sound easy. I think Ohio State is going to be the preseason number one. I think they should be the preseason number one. So this is not an easy game at all. They're number one in the FPI rankings right now. It's a loaded team. We know how good Jeremiah Smith is. Julian Sands going into his second year as a starter. He was a Heisman finalist in year one. Bo Jackson's a stud at running back. They lose a lot from that defense, but it's Ohio State. They always have studs on defense. So it's a tall task, but like the whole argument about, and I guess there's a couple of arguments against Steve Sarkisian from a national standpoint, but it's like, can he win the big one? And I get it. It's regular season, week 2. And if Sark wins this game, people will move the goalpost and say, it wasn't a big one. It was a regular season game in September. Who cares? This is a big one. And if you lose this game, people are going to bring up Sark's ranking against the top 5 and the top 10. And he just can't get it done against the best of the best. He would really like to get all that stuff thrown to the trash, at least for a little while.
Yeah, and it's a huge game for him because, like I was talking about a little earlier, to watch how is this offense going to evolve? Because now with all the parts and pieces, how are you going to spread this ball around? I heard you and Evan talking yesterday, and I think that this is a great point. Is with this running back room, how are you going to work it? You going to let the guy with the hot hand go? Are you going to alternate? Or are you going to whatever? To my tight end point, his offenses here at Texas, his offenses in general have been so reliant on the tight end. Right now, you don't have to be so reliant on the tight end because you've got all these other plug and play pieces now. Is he going to continue to want to do that? And then you get to the play calling. If you get in a nail biter game right here, look, it's a pick 'em. You said it. If you get in a pick 'em ball game and you find a way to where you're still, you still don't make the right play call. You still don't call that timeout at the right time. And you're running these jet sweeps and all these things when you just ought to be pounding the football. This is a huge spotlight is going to, let's make another retail reference. The Target thing is going to be huge on Steve Sarkisian here. Win or lose.
Yeah.
Win or lose.
The eyes of the world will be upon Austin, Texas for that one. And College Game Day is going to be here, and it's prime time under the lights. And that's far and away the biggest game of week 2. There's some other decent matchups, but again, that's a top 3 game, maybe 1 versus 2. Texas opens up against Texas State. Ohio State opens up against Ball State. So those teams are still going to be ranked very highly when that game kicks off on September 12th. And yeah, it's a big one. So Longhorns minus 1.5. Sounds like you and I are both leaning Texas right now. And I agree with what you said earlier. It will be fascinating to see how that line moves. Maybe not between now and the season, but over the 7 days between game 1 and game 2. That's going to be fun to watch for sure. All right. We will continue. I mentioned we have 7 updated lines to get to for Texas this season. We've only talked about 2 of them, so we'll start to dive into the SEC lines. Nothing for UTSA. Sorry, Meeps, but we'll get to some of the conference games according to DK Sportsbook. But before we continue our Texas football conversation, how about our first round of sponsor shout-outs? We'll start with Sue Patrick. Double R, you're rocking a Sue Patrick hat today. And
Angry Bevo, where is it?
You're rocking the Sue Patrick Angry Bevo. What is that, a little fishing shirt right there?
That's right. I'm going to go do some fishing later on today, so you might as well. No, I'm not going to go fishing, but I'm going to go out. I'm going to leave the confines of the studio later.
Oh, that's huge. What are you fishing for is the question.
Oh, man, I gotta do some grocery shopping.
Yeah.
So it's big events like that for me, BK. It's like monumental days. It's like I had to shower last night. Man, I got to go buy groceries.
Breaking news. Double R is leaving his place today. That nobody saw coming. Well, look, we both like to leave our places to go to Sue Patrick. And if you're looking to gear up for the Texas football season, Sue Patrick is the place to go. The best selection of Longhorn gear you could find. Of course, you can shop in store, 5222 Burnett Road. They've got tons of free parking, and you don't have to walk. It's not like a parking garage or a lot that you got to walk half a mile to. The lot's right there, easy to park, easy to walk inside. And again, their selection is unmatched. Of course, if you don't want to leave the place, SuePatrick.com. You can do all of your shopping online. They've got free shipping on online orders over $59, and they'll get it to you quick. That's the beauty of Sue Patrick. Some places you buy online, it's like 2 weeks, 2 months. Is this ever going? I bought I'd forgotten. I bought a Team USA hockey gold medal shirt the day after Team USA beat Canada in that gold medal game. Well, back in February. I got it last week.
Oh,
Forgotten it had been that long since I had ordered it. I forgot I even bought it, and I'm glad it did. But you don't have to worry about that with Sue Patrick. You buy it, it gets to you quickly. Love Sue Patrick, SuePatrick.com for more information. And also, love the Altstadt beer. I'll be drinking a few of them this weekend. I got a hunch Double R might be doing the same. This beer that you can find all throughout the great state of Texas. Brewed locally in Fredericksburg. A lot of craziness going on in Fredericksburg these last couple of days, but the Altstadt Brewery still putting out some fantastic beers all across the state. Something for everybody. They got the German-style lager. They've got the Kolsch. They've got the Hefeweizen, the Pilsner, the light beer, the Peach Radler, which is great for the summertime. Something for everyone. We're talking football. You need your beers for your tailgates, for your watch parties. It's summertime. You need your beers to get you through these red-hot summer months in Texas. Altstadt's my choice, should be yours as well. Whatever you have going on this weekend, please be safe, please be smart, plan a sober ride home, but your good times are made better with a great beer, and for me, that beer is Altstadt beer. No impurities, no regrets, and shout out to Hat Creek Burger as well. Hat Creek Burger Company started as a food truck here in Austin, has expanded to more than 30 locations all across the great state of Texas. Could be burger time this weekend. I'm due for a good burger. They've got the best in town, plus the chicken nuggets, plus they've got chicken sandwiches. They've got the fries that are incredible. They've got the milkshakes that are ridiculously good. Of course, the playscape as well, so the kiddos can run around. You can eat there. You can drive through. You can order ahead online, hatcreekburgers.com. You will leave full and fulfilled every single time you go to Hat Creek Burger Company.
Yeah, and Hat Creek doesn't have that corrupt lettuce that's causing all these problems around the country.
Yeah, America's under attack.
Yeah,
by a
squirting attack. It's rough, right?
Squirting attack from the diarrhea parasite.
Yeah,
and one of our favorite restaurants is getting blamed. Ridiculous. I mean, why are we blaming Taco Bell for this here? What's going on?
My man, I had it Sunday for NASCAR race night. I had it Sunday night. I had plenty of it. There was lettuce in those tacos.
Uh-oh.
I was totally fine.
So far, so good, huh?
So far, so good. Guts.
So here's something that people have to admit. If everyone's going to get mad at Taco Bell, oh, it's them, it's their lettuce, their ingredients that they're using that's causing this cyclosporiasis outbreak that's going on around the country. Probably didn't pronounce that right. You know where Taco Bell's getting this lettuce from?
China.
Not China.
Oh, I don't know. Lay it on me. San Antonio.
Mexico.
Oh.
And for years, this is not to blame Mexico or Mexican people or anything like that. I love the Mexicans. I sound like the president now, don't I?
Oh, yeah.
People always laugh when I say Taco Bell's authentic Mexican food. They're getting their ingredients from Mexico. So you're telling me this ain't authentic? Who else is getting their lettuce from Mexico? Probably not a lot of people. This is real deal Mexican food. And this outbreak, this parasite just proved it. So tell me I'm right, because I'm right.
Wait, so you're telling me that each individual Taco Bell franchisor, whatever, however the hell they're owned, they don't do like Bucky Godbolt and go to the farmer's market and buy that homegrown, fresh-fed lettuce stuff? Ours is genuine Mexican.
We're going across the border to get our lechuga. I'm going to use the Spanish pronunciation.
Well done, my man.
So learning. That's what it is at Taco Bell. We're using authentic lechuga. While everyone else is using lettuce. Wow. This is real Tex-Mex, not even Tex-Mex. This is real Mexican food that you're getting, and I don't want to hear anything different.
Well, it does not bother me, my man. You hand me them crunchy tacos and the burritos and all that stuff with it. I'm good.
Look,
I'm good.
I can leave off the lettuce on the menu options there. So if you're telling me that the lettuce is causing the problem, then all right, I'm still going to go there and I'm just going to say, hey, hold the lettuce. Give me the beef. Give me the cheese. Give me the beans, the rice, all the things that everybody really wants in their Taco Bell items. Nobody really care. You're just trying to be a little healthy when you get the lettuce and tomatoes in there, and no one actually wants that stuff. So, all right, hold the lettuce. I'm good on that. But I'm still going to go. I ain't scared.
Oh, I'm probably going to go tonight after this conversation.
Yeah.
I'll go again. But it's like, nobody thinks about healthy and no lettuce and all these different. Nobody thinks about that at 1 a.m., right?
No.
When you go to Taco Bell and you're blitzed out of your mind, it's like, yeah, 10 pack of crunchy tacos and 7 bean burritos and some pintos and cheese on the side. Let's go.
Oh, yeah. By the way, the outbreak, which was first reported in early May, has since spread to at least 34 states, including Texas, and it has sickened at least 1,600 people, according to Chris Del Conte data. I believe that's what CDC means. And, we've had a lot of folks hospitalized as well. So it's got to be good for Taco Bell business. All those people are going to, I don't know, that's probably spreading beyond Taco Bell at this point, but that's, we're proud to be patient zero on this. The Taco Bell contingent, you and I are parts of the Taco Bell fan club. Hell, we might have founded the thing. We are proud about this one.
When I went, the line was around the building. So people in Williamson County aren't concerned. They're not scared because, long lines. Long lines.
A lot of pub. All pub is good pub, says Taco Bell.
That's
right. If you're
right.
getting lettuce, just take it out of your burrito, wash it under the sink, and then put it back in your taco or burrito, and you're good to go.
Drop some hot sauce on top of it. You're fine.
Yeah.
You're fine.
You have to.
Fertilizer.
As long as Diablo's okay and the fire sauce is okay, then everything's going to be all right. Oh, so I don't know how we got there, but now I'm hungry. Now I really want some Taco Bell. It's not really a time where I don't want some Taco Bell, if we're being honest.
Yeah.
All right. Well, talking food makes me want to talk some more football. Let's dive back in to these early lines for the Texas football team in the 2026 season. We talked about Texas State. We talked about Ohio State. Now we go to week 4, the SEC opener, the Longhorns on the road at Tennessee. I know the Buck is very worried about this game, and that has me very worried about this game because last year he was pretty terrified of the SEC opener on the road at Florida. I told him he was crazy. Well, it turns out I was the one who was crazy because the Longhorns completely crapped the bed in their most embarrassing loss of 2025. First trip ever for Texas to Knoxville. It's the first time these teams have played since 1969. All 3 of the meetings have been in Cotton Bowls in the past. Texas at Tennessee. The Longhorns are favored. They are 6.5-point favorites. Where are you at on the SEC opener at Neyland?
Well, I can tell you, I'm with you guys too. I think we've had this conversation maybe a few months ago that this game has worried me for a long time, and it may be that PTSD again to where I go back to the Florida thing. But I just think a lot of it with who's the true UT, all of that. This is big, man. I really do. I equate this to the Florida game to where it's especially coming off such a big game the week before. You could have the ultimate high and then sink yourself to the ultimate low. Last year when that happened, you were kind of questioning what this Texas football program was when you went into the swamp. But I mean, now it's going to be you expect to be firing at all levels right now, coming off of hopefully a big win against Ohio State. But man, this is going to be a nail biter. This is going to be a dogfight. Tennessee is going to give you Josh Heupel is going to give you everything he can come up with in this ball game, man. What's the line? What's the line on this one? I'm sorry.
6.5.
6.5. Seems a little tall, man. A little tall. I'm leaning more in the 3-point range for this.
I am too. Like I'd pick Texas to win that game right now. And of course, we'll know more about both of these teams by the time we get there. Obviously, Texas has Ohio State in week 2. Tennessee's got an interesting game at Georgia Tech
Yep.
in week 2. So I think the Vols are probably more talented than Georgia Tech, but that's a game that they could lose. And if they do have a blemish on their resume and Texas has a huge win over the Buckeyes on theirs, then all right, maybe my tone changes. But I think this one's going to be a dogfight. You ask me right now in mid-July, I think this is a 4-quarter game that comes down to the wire. And Texas, I mean, maybe it's a game-winning field goal. You brought up the kicker, Gianni Spedic, coming in from Memphis, going back to that state and kicking the game winner. That'd be pretty fitting. Perhaps it's a big defensive stand that Texas gets late. Perhaps it's Texas, needing to put together a 4 or 5 minute drive to bleed out the clock to preserve a 3-point lead that they have in the final minutes. Something like that. I think it's going to be a nail biter. I don't think it's going to be easy. First road game of the year always trips me up a little bit. So again, I would lean Texas to win, but I think 6.5 is a little hefty.
Yeah. This is your offensive line running game type of game right here, statement game right here, to where you do come down to in that fourth quarter and you're having to drag the clock out and the play calling. Yeah, what plays are you going to make when you're trying to extend the clock and just push this thing to get done? It's going to be a trench game. We talk about trench warfare, and that's what you're going to have right here. And hopefully by that time, you have a pretty good, solid feel on your offensive line. I mean, I do think that you have your 5, maybe 6 guys that are going to be your key contributors on the offensive line. But again, you have to see that actually play itself out on the field. This right here, I mean, not discounting Ohio State at all, but here's your test right here. Because you're going to be in the cozy confines of DKR, Texas Memorial Stadium up until this point. And what a way to start on the road.
I'm telling you, man. And it's the checkered game for Tennessee. I guess their fans don't know how to dress up, so they have to tell them what clothes to wear for these games. I don't understand that bit, but apparently that's a big deal up there. And it is an 11 a.m. kick, which I know some Longhorn fans are happy about. People are spooked about night games. You can lose an 11 a.m. game just as easily as you could lose a 7 p.m. game. I think that stuff is always overhyped and overcooked. But it's going to be a crazy atmosphere, regardless of kickoff time. Tennessee, I feel like Tennessee fans hate everybody. That's what I've kind of learned from being in the SEC for a couple of years. But they really hate Texas. Like the UT thing really, really bothers them a lot more than it should. So they're going to want this one. Look, Texas, I think, is going to be a top 5. If they lose to Ohio State, they'll still be ranked in the top 10. Everybody knows how good Texas is. You've got the Manning component of this one. Uncle Peyton played at Tennessee, obviously Arch at Texas now. And you had Peyton a couple of weeks ago saying he's rooting for Texas in that game, which I thought was pretty funny. But yeah, what travels? What travels? Like you said, first time you'll be away from home. Communication is going to matter. Is the offensive line cohesive enough to handle that atmosphere? Is the defense? It's game 4 under Will Muschamp. Is the defense going to be able to travel? Is the running game going to be able to travel? How does Arch? These are all fair questions to ask. So I think if the game was in Austin, everybody would feel a lot better. I think it'd be one of the easier games on Texas's SEC schedule because I believe Texas is significantly more talented than Tennessee is this season. But because it's on the road and it's your first road test, that's where I get a little hesitation that maybe we're going to be sweating this one out more than we would like.
And we do, whether we want to admit it or not. I mean, we do fall back on those tendencies to think about Florida games or the Florida game and think about other times to where there is no way that you should lose a football game, and yet Texas has found a way to do it. And that's where you just fall back into that as much as we want to fall forward into the times that Texas has won, big games. But this is where we just talked about you got to beat Ohio State. Can you finally get over that? This is kind of that same scenario as to where can you and hopefully you're coming off a big win. Hopefully you're coming off a big win over Ohio State. Do you keep that going? But it's call it a trap game, call it whatever you want to call it, BK. But this one right here is a very scary one to me.
Yeah, and I think about the Tennessee-Georgia game. That was week 3 last year in Knoxville. And Georgia won that game in overtime, but it was 44-41. It was a shootout. Tennessee had a chance at a game-winning field goal at the end of regulation that they had plenty of chances in that game and couldn't get it done. Like, I hope it's not a game in the 40s. I don't know if my heart could handle something like that, but
Yeah.
it feels like they play at least 1 or 2 games like that at home. And look, they beat good teams. They got Alabama there a couple of years ago, so it's not like always the bridesmaid, never the bride when it comes to big games at Neyland. But yeah, they have a tendency to get up for these big ones. So Texas will have to be buttoned up and ready to roll. So that's the SEC opener. As we continue talking about these updated lines for the upcoming season, Texas has a bye. It's only bye. Remember, going to a 9-game conference slate, that was one change that the SEC made, but also going from 2 byes to 1. So Texas will have their bye on October 3rd, and then they'll play 8 straight, all in conference, to wrap up the season. And the first of those 8 games, the Red River Shootout, Texas OU in Dallas. We know what's happened the last 2 times, and 3 of the last 4 times these 2 teams have met. It's been over 1,000 days since the Sooners have gotten into the end zone against the Longhorns. Texas currently a 6-point favorite in the look-ahead line for Red River. How you feeling on that one?
You know, it's so odd that I'm about to say what I'm about to say, but even I think Oklahoma is a really good football team this year. I mean, I truly do. I think that they're pretty good. I mean, they're projected. Phil Steele has them, in the top quarter of the SEC. But I am much more confident in this line than I am with the Tennessee one, because the Tennessee, it just spells trap. But I think that Texas OU still hasn't scored a touchdown in how long? It hasn't scored.
Yeah.
So I think that continues. I think that it's the Steve Sarkisian. The great mark that he has right now is that he controls his rivals. I have pretty good faith that that's going to continue right here. I'm really confident in this line.
Could you imagine if Texas kept OU out of the end zone again? Like, it happened once in 2024, and that was awesome. But I'm like, all right, well, Oklahoma's a lot better in 2025, and John Mateer's healthy. They got that thumb ready to go. And like, I thought Texas was going to win that game last year, but I'm like, all right, Oklahoma's going to score a touchdown, right? They have to score a touchdown. There's no way it's going to happen 2 years in a row. Could you imagine if it happened 3 years in a row? And that stretch got over, I don't know, what would it be? Over 1,500 days? Yeah. By the time the 2027 Red River Shootout would happen next October, are we getting to that? Like, that would be the greatest freaking thing ever. Anytime you win, you're happy. But if somehow, some way, you can keep the Sooners out of the paint for a 3rd consecutive meeting, that's stuff of legend right there.
And you want to talk about, if that is the case, you want to talk about a smoking hot seat, Brent Venables, 10-3. And this is where it took me going back to the Phil Steele Bible. I know these things, but I see them on paper to where it's like, oh yeah, Texas was 10-3. Oklahoma was 10-3. Those are great seasons, but not winning the games that you're supposed to win and not getting the results that you're supposed to win. But if that happens, that seat is going to be smoking hot under Brent Venables.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Because if he loses this one, it would be 1-4 against Texas in his career. And, Oklahoma fans last year, they were talking some smack because they made the playoff and Texas didn't. But deep down, they weren't happy. They're not happy when they lose to Texas. That is their biggest game every single year. And look, a lot of Longhorn fans would argue the OU game is the biggest game for Texas every single year. But I remember SEC Media Days last year, I was asked by an Oklahoma radio station, like, what's the biggest game for Texas this season? I'm like, at Georgia. Like, we got to beat Georgia. That's the game that we have to win at Georgia. And I was like, what about you guys? They're like, Texas. It's every year. It's Texas. Doesn't matter who else is on the schedule. Doesn't matter, non-conference, conference, whatever. It's Texas. So, yeah, it kills them that this rivalry has gone one-sided in the right direction for us and history, but the wrong direction for them. So that's a huge matchup. And what's interesting about Oklahoma, and they've got some tough games before October 10th. They've got to go to Ann Arbor in week 2, and they've got to go to Georgia in week 4. Like, that's their SEC opener on the road in Athens between the hedges. So OU could be 2-2. Now, I think they'll beat Michigan, but I don't think they're going to beat Georgia. So I think that's a one-loss team coming in. But like that could be like a must-win game for Oklahoma to keep their college football playoff hopes alive if the first month of the season doesn't go the way that they want.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't see them beating Georgia at all. Especially that being an away game for them. I'm with you. I think they can beat Michigan. I think it's a retooled Oklahoma team that is going to be better. And look, a lot of this, it's going to center around John Mateer. I mean, does he get hurt again? I mean, what are you going to get out of this dude? So if that dude stumbles out of the block, or God forbid another injury gets him, that they may be in trouble from the get-go. But yeah, this could be them trying to save their playoff lives early on and happening against UT. But I'm just so confident in Texas against Oklahoma right now that I think they cover that line. Yeah. I really think they cover that line.
I feel like Bucky agrees with you. And look, I think Oklahoma's defense is going to be really, really good again. Yes, they lose a couple of studs up front, but the question is for them, is the offense better? Like early on, John Mateer before the injury looked really good. People were saying he's the Heisman frontrunner. I think at one point he was the odds-on favorite in Vegas to win the Heisman. Now, Oklahoma hadn't played a lot of really, really good teams before he went down with that injury, but they couldn't run the football at all. They had offensive line issues. I didn't think they had enough at wide receiver, like stuff that you don't typically see from an Oklahoma team. So is this the year where their offense actually is more consistent? I mean, they made the playoff last year despite all those ups and downs on that side of the football. Again, the defense might take a minor step back, but I still think it's going to be one of the best in the SEC. The question is their offense good enough to get into the end zone against Texas? But more so than that, actually make this a competitive football game, which it really hasn't been the last few seasons. So I'm with you. Like, this is one of those, you throw the records out, you throw the stats out, you throw all that stuff out. That's what they say. That's the old adage about Texas OU. I think Oklahoma's really good as well. I think Texas is going to win, but I always pick the underdog to cover. And I know I've looked like an idiot the last couple of years because, again, Texas is covered with ease. But I would lean OU to cover the line, but I would still pick Texas to win that football game.
I really hope that by the time we get to that game, because I mean, that's two questions right there, two alike questions that we can talk about with Texas and OU, is Texas with the struggles of the running game. I fully believe that by the time we get to Red River, that this running game is going to be established. So we'll have somebody that is kind of going to be the bell cow, and then some sort of rotation right there with everything that happens. I don't think that that's going to be the case for OU, because I don't think I don't think that running attack is somewhat solidified like Texas is, or at least the plan for it, because it is very odd as well when we talk about Texas not having that run game that Bucky always talks about. Same thing for OU. You expect them to have somebody that's going to be able to establish a run game and just pound this thing out. They haven't had that. So who has it? I think Texas will have it by then. I don't think OU will. Probably going to be the difference in that game.
Yeah,
probably Texas will be the difference in that game.
Texas -6. That's usually the stat. I don't have it all in the top of my head, but I think it's, I don't know, something like 23 of the last 25, something crazy like that, where the team that wins the running battle in Dallas is the team that leaves with the golden hat.
Yep.
So last year was like Trey Wisner. I mean, he's the rival reaper, right? Like he had plenty of downs last season, unfortunately, and part of it was he was a little banged up, and obviously some of it's on the offensive line. He wasn't the only problem with the run game last year, but against Oklahoma, the Texas O-line played great, and the running game was very, very productive. So you have to have that. You absolutely have to have that in that matchup to win, and Texas obviously invested a ton in the running back room. We've talked about it a lot. The hope is that it's figured out. The offensive line has it figured out. And that can be a strength, not just, oh, God, hopefully it's good enough to be slightly better than OU's bad rushing offense. Now, the hope is that's the strength of the team, and we can ride that to another win inside those walls of the Cotton Bowl.
Yeah, because OU does not have, I mean, OU didn't go to Nordstrom for the running game. They didn't do any of that. They lost they lost the two guys that they had. And so now it's very unproven. And look, we may get to that game and they are lights out in the running game, but I just don't think so. And I think that trend continues, because you get to the end of the game, you stretch the game out, and you're just bringing guys in, BK. You're just bringing in your running backs, and you wind the clock down, you take care of it. So very confident in this game. But like I said, overly confident. It's not because I dislike OU so much, which I do, but I just like this on paper right now, Texas OU.
All right, so we'll get back. We got 3 more lines to get to. Ole Miss, LSU, and Texas A&M. Some big games, obviously, in the latter half of the SEC season for the Texas Longhorns. But before we continue our Texas football conversation, Double R, I'm going to give you the floor here because I know you're a happy and repeat client of AV Consultations, as am I. Your thoughts on Tom McKay and everything audio-visual consultations can do for the people.
Man, they can make your place the place to be. World Cup coming up, tomorrow and Sunday, the finale. We finally get that over with because USA's out, so I don't really care about it anymore. But football season right around the corner. As a matter of fact, last night I had racing on all 3 screens here at my place, courtesy of AV Consultations. Check out the gallery of projects. You don't believe what we're talking about? Check out avconsultations.com or reach out to an AV Consultations customer. A lot of these sports bars and stuff where you spend money to go, AV Consultations hook them up, and they can hook you up, and you could stay home and do it in your own spot. Indoor, outdoor, doesn't matter. The Sonos surround system. 512-255-8678. Make that phone call. You're going to talk to Tom. Tom and his crew are going to come out, and they're going to tell you the best way to set up your system. No wires hanging, none of that. It's professionally done. And then if you have to move, I moved a couple of months ago. I called them up, and they're like, give us the address. We'll get over there. We'll set you up. Boom, there it is. It's ready to go. As a matter of fact, it's better than it was before. 512-255-8678. Make that phone call today. Since 1988. It has been avconsultations.com. They're almost as old as I am, BK. Almost.
I love Tom McKay. Talked to him on the phone for 2 hours last night. I don't even know what we talked about. Just chopping it up. Great dude, and he'll hook you up with the home TV setup of your dreams. Shout out to Early Bird CBD. I know you have had some of these products as well, Double R. The Buck and I are hooked on these. Rodney's on these. We've got our friends. We've got our families. And we've got y'all. You guys are family, after all, hooked on these Early Bird products. Tons of y'all have reached out saying you've tried these, and thank you for supporting our sponsors. Fantastic, man. I'm going to pop one of these tonight. It's Friday. Need to relax, need to unwind, need to just feel good on a Friday, and that's what Early Bird CBD does. Their products are literally designed to make you feel good, and they do just that. They've got the gummies. They've got the drops. These are great for the summertime. Literally just drop these in any drink. Whether you're out at the bar, you got an alcoholic beverage, a couple of drops in, you're good. Maybe you're just drinking a juice or a tonic water or something like that. You want to get the effects of CBD. You want to get the effects of a little micro dose of THC. Early Bird CBD, that's for you. Go to their website, earlybirdcbd.com. Use the promo code Bucky, and you are going to get 20% off your first purchase. The Buck takes them for pain alleviation. Again, I take them to unwind and relax and get a great night's sleep as well. Whatever your reason, I think there's going to be a reason for you to try Early Bird CBD.
Yeah, man, that is such great stuff. There are a couple of different times where I have to do like an 8-hour drive or whatever for the other job. I'll get to the destination safely in place. I'm not leaving anywhere. And one of those right there. Boom. Instant calmness. Highly recommend.
Love Early Bird, and also love Centex tickets. You're looking for tickets to any Texas football game or any sporting event or any concert or comedy show or festival or Broadway show. They've got you covered at centextickets.com. ACL bands, day passes, weekend passes. You want to go to the biggest music festival in town? They've got plenty available right now at Centex Tickets. Big shows, small shows. You familiar with the Yin Yang Twins? Double R?
Is that a pornographic team or something?
Some might argue that they are. You know the song Get Low?
I do know that song.
Somehow. To the window, to the wall.
Right on. Yeah.
It's them and Little John. The Yin Yang Twins are apparently doing a show in Seguin tonight.
Seguin.
If you want to go watch the Yin Yang Twins at the Seguin schoolyard, that's the beauty of Centex tickets. It's like, I got no plans on a Friday. I'm going to go there and see what's going on. Oh, I might go watch the Yin Yang Twins in Seguin.
I'm going to check out the Yin Yang.
Yeah, the Yin Yang. I mean, they're pretty old at this point, but, hey, they're still alive. That's great. CentexTickets.com. Use the promo code Centex10, whatever you want to go see in person. And that's the place to get your tickets. All right. So let's continue here. Updated lines for the upcoming Texas football season, according to DraftKings Sportsbook. And we'll get to some NFL and some of the other great topics we've got planned. But having a good time talking Texas football as we sit 50 days away from the start of the season. We've got 3 more lines to get to. We'll start with Ole Miss. October 24th, the Rebs coming to town. Of course, Ole Miss made it all the way to the college football playoff semifinal last year. They had a very tumultuous offseason. Really, it started before the offseason. Obviously, Lane Kiffin out. Pete Golding remains. He was the interim coach for the playoff run that they went on. He is now the head coach. But they've got to replace their offensive coaching staff and a number of other assistants. They do not have to replace their quarterback. Tobago Chambliss is back, one of the best in the country. They do not have to replace their running back, Kwan Lacey. He returns. He's one of the best in the country. First meeting as SEC foes for Texas and Ole Miss. The Longhorns 8.5-point favorites. That's in between the Florida game and the Mississippi State game, where Texas will be home for 3 straight weeks, and they'll be in the state of Texas for the entire month of October after being on the road for the entire month of October last year. Your thoughts on the Longhorns being more than a touchdown favorites against Ole Miss?
I think it's justified. I really do think it's justified, especially being a home game. If this were on the road, I think it would be right up there in the likes of what we're talking about with Tennessee. But I mean, Ole Miss, obviously, with everything that they went through last year, and just a great job for them to make that run, in a pretty tough situation. A lot of distractions going on at that point. But like you said, man, they're coming back with a pretty good slate of playmakers here. Line seems a little high to me, BK, but being a home game,
Yeah.
I think Texas could win this by 10 points. I'm pretty confident here too. I like this, and the main thing is just the home cooking. Home cooking makes a huge difference in a game like this.
Last time Texas played Ole Miss at home, things did not go well for the Longhorns. These teams played a home and home back when the Horns were in the Big 12. And I remember going to both games. I was a freshman for the road game in Oxford, and Texas beat the brakes off of Ole Miss. And then the following year in 2013, the Rebs came here and kind of beat the brake. Texas was up, and then Ole Miss went on a huge run, and the Longhorns just couldn't get off the mat. It kind of felt like a lot of last decade. Yeah, Ole Miss's offense is really good. They lost so much on their defense. And I know their head coach, Pete Golding, is a defensive guy. He's been around the SEC for a long time. He knows how to coordinate good defenses. Just, I don't know if they have the talent to slow down a really, really high-powered Texas offense with all the weapons that the Longhorns have. And I'll tell you what, LSU, I've said it before, they're the most fascinating team. They're the most polarizing team. And they're the team in this league that I think has the widest range of possible outcomes for this season. I think Ole Miss is number 2. And part of it's a new coach, and part of it's just a lot of portal talent. LSU brought in more portal players than anybody in the country, but Ole Miss brought in a ton of guys to replace a lot of the guys that they lost too. So, I mentioned their quarterback returns. I mentioned their running back returns. They've got a nice foundation, but they're replacing a lot. And Ole Miss plays Louisville in week 1. That's a game they could lose. They've got LSU week 3. That's a game they could lose. They go to the Swamp week 4. That's a game they could lose. Like, if things start to fall off the rails for Ole Miss and they've got a couple of losses early, what happens? What happens to Pete Golding? Do people start to get out on him? I could see that thing going off the rails quickly if Ole Miss doesn't get off to a great start. So I think they'll be a preseason top 15 team in college football. Again, there's a lot of reasons for optimism there, but I just wonder, with Pete Golding, now that it's his program, can he have them playing at the level that they were last year? I think they take a pretty sizable step back, if we're being honest. I don't think they're a playoff team. I think they're more of an 8-4 kind of squad this year. So I would lean Texas, and I would lean Texas to cover. That is a hefty number, 8.5, more than a touchdown, again, against a team that is probably going to be top 15 in the preseason. But I would lean Texas to win this game by double digits here on July 17th.
Yeah, I think that's where Ole Miss has had all this time with Pete Golding to kind of, catch their breath and just everything that was going on last year. I think so much of it was just fueled by the controversy, the adrenaline, everything that was going on there, and just the narrative of what was going on with Lane Kiffin. But I think now you take a step back. What are they projected to finish fifth in the SEC is Ole Miss, I believe. But this will be a battle-tested group that comes into DKR for that matchup on October 24th, and it could very well be if they get thumped by Louisville in that opening game to where what's the path for their season? Are they playing for like Mac Brown said, a nice bowl game? I mean, because it could very well be that's what they're doing at that point. So I think I'm with you. I'm confident in that number right now, because I think the ultimate thought right now is Texas comes so chiseled into this game to where you've just rattled off these wins. You're rolling at this point. You're rolling at this point, and you just keep doing what you need to be doing. And I really think that's going to be what's happening on October 24th.
Yeah, that'll be a fun one for sure. A lot of Rebs fans live here, and a lot of Rebs fans, I think, will be making the trip here. So it'll be another great atmosphere, and that's one of the home games that I'm most looking forward to watching as a Texas fan. But I would lean the Longhorns, and again, I think Ole Miss takes a step back. I think they lost too much and losing their head coach. I'm not saying they're going to miss a bowl game and totally fall apart, but I don't think they're the same team that they were a season ago. So give me Texas there. Yep. And then we've got two more. Speaking of LSU, about Texas at LSU, November 14th, the third to last game of the season for the Longhorns at Death Valley. We don't have a time for that one, but I think it's going to be a night game more than likely. Under the lights at Tiger Stadium. Everyone talks about how that's a brutal place to play, and Saturday night you don't want to be there. Look, that's going to be a crazy, crazy atmosphere. And I mentioned that LSU, very polarizing team, fascinated to see what they are. And obviously we'll know so much more about these teams by the time we get to mid-November. But despite the fact that LSU has Lane Kiffin, despite the fact that the game is in Baton Rouge, the Longhorns are a 3-point road favorite in the look-ahead line, according to DK Sportsbook.
Ooh. That's a tight one, because I happen to be, because it is with Texas or with LSU, that it is very high, lofty expectations or mediocre. There's like no in between. It seems like anyone that I have a conversation with LSU, I happen to think that this is going to be a very good football team. I really do think that they're going to be. I think they may contend for the SEC title. Maybe the expectations for me are somewhat lofty, but even with the environment, even with all of this, I am glad that this game is at this point of the season. I'm so happy that Texas is not going there in the early part of the year. I think by this time, back to what I'm talking about, Texas is just taking care of business right now, and I think this is a touchdown. This is a touchdown or more win for Texas on the road. Okay. And again, another hurdle, winning in hostile environments. Forget about College Station. This is a hostile environment right here.
So here's something that I'd like to see change with Texas football going into year 3 in the SEC. The Longhorns, look, they're 5-2 on the road since joining the conference. They are 1-6 against the spread in SEC road games. But, a win is a win, and you're happy to find any sort of win away from home in this league. But remember last year, Kentucky was way closer than it needed to be. You needed overtime to beat one of the worst teams in the league, who ended up firing their coach. Mississippi State needed a 17-point fourth quarter comeback to get it done. Like Vanderbilt a couple of years ago, you had to hold on for dear life. The Arkansas game a couple of years ago was like, so even in 2024, when Texas made the playoff and won a couple of games and played for the SEC title, again, you don't complain about winning on the road in the SEC. I'm sure it sounds like I'm complaining right now, but I'd like for some of these road trips to be a little easier for Texas this year. And I mean, you got some tough games: Tennessee, LSU, A&M, and Missouri. But it'd be nice to see Texas have a few more stress-free Saturdays on the road this year. I'm worried about this game. I think LSU's really good. I agree with you. I think they are talented enough to get to Atlanta at the end of the season. And if there's the one game that I am least confident in for Texas right now is LSU. Like, if you asked me to pick one game that I think the Longhorns are going to lose right now, if I had to pick one, I would pick LSU. So again, we'll know a lot more about both of these teams. Maybe LSU's just not that good. Maybe Sam Levitt gets hurt again. Maybe there's too many transfers and too much talk. And it's year one for a new coach. Sometimes it takes some time for it all to come together. But that game that atmosphere on the road, that one worries me a lot. So I would lean LSU plus. I'm also getting points. If LSU was a favorite in this game, I would be leaning them right now. You're telling me I'm getting 3 with the Bayou Bengals. People may hate me for this, but this is the first one of the 6 games we've talked about here, Double R, where I would go against Texas with that Vegas number.
And this is where I say to kind of counter the point that I made a while ago about that I'm glad that I'm glad that this game is not earlier in the year. I do wish it was earlier in the year for that factor right there, to where by this point, Lane Kiffin's going to have the opportunity to make that team mesh, and that team will be hitting on the cylinders that they need to be hitting on when we get to that game. And it where I talk about Tennessee kind of feeling like a trap, and I hate using that word because it's so overused, kind of like a trap game. This is where I feel that Texas can just get beat. Not in looking forward or worrying about A&M or worrying about playoffs, that they can just get beat. This is the game that I think that could happen.
I think there's only a couple of teams on Texas's schedule that have like talent to Texas. Ohio State's the obvious one. I mean, they're right there with the Longhorns as maybe the most talented roster in college football, although I do think Texas does have more talent. I think Oklahoma's close. Again, I think Texas has more talent. And then LSU. LSU would be that team that I'd probably put number 2 after Ohio State in terms of just their roster. Again, does it come together? Can Sam Leavitt stay healthy? There are absolutely questions that you have anytime it's year 1 of a new coach in a new spot. But just with what they were able to amass in the transfer portal, and even last year, I mean, they were bad. They were 7-6. They fired Brian Kelly. We all know that it's LSU, man. Yeah. They always have talent. So they've got a lot of pieces coming back. And again, they hit the portal. They brought in the best transfer portal class the sport has ever seen. I get it. The portal hasn't been around very long, excuse me. But that's LSU is talented enough to beat Texas. The Longhorns are going to have to bring their A game on the road. And that's one that worries me. But you're right, not a trap game. You've got Arkansas the following week. You ain't worried about that. Arkansas would be the trap game, I guess, but they're so bad. I'm not nervous about Texas slipping up against the Hogs at home. But LSU's really talented.
And I really am curious to see this team play in that environment, because it can be a lot of game day environments and so forth. It can be exaggerated a little bit. I've never gone to a game there, but just from firsthand knowledge and folks that go there quite often and videos and just that point of view, this is going to be something that this program hasn't seen in some time. I mean, like I mentioned A&M a while ago, I know the traditions and everything that happened there, but this is out of this world right here. And look, I think it's even sweeter that if this season is the magical season that we want it to be for Texas football, that one of these things you can check off the box is that you went there and beat that team.
I agree. Yeah, I agree. And Texas fans are going to be ready for that one. These teams were supposed to play in Baton Rouge in 2020. And, oh, man, after the 2019 game here in Austin where LSU just ripped our hearts out, and it was so early in the year, I don't think we realized how good the Tigers were going to end up being. But that one hurt, and I was ready, and a lot of Longhorn fans I know were ready to try to get some revenge the following season in Baton Rouge. And Texas would have won that game because LSU sucked in 2020, and that would have been nice. We had to wait a while to get our opportunity, but, yeah, that's one that a ton of Texas fans, it's not that far of a drive either, pretty easy to get to. Mm-hmm. There's going to be a lot of burnt orange in that crowd, but there's going to be plenty of purple and gold too. So that one will be a fun atmosphere, and it's one of the most expensive tickets in college football. Speaking of most expensive tickets, the most expensive ticket right now on the resale market in the entire college football season. It's not just for the Longhorns. This is any game, any team here in 2026. It's the Lone Star Showdown. Texas at Texas A&M on Black Friday, Kyle Field in College Station. The Longhorns, of course, have won 3 in a row against the Aggies, 2 in a row since joining the SEC. The first meeting back after the long hiatus, Texas 17, A&M 7 in College Station. There's been a lot on the line in both of these meetings so far. 2 years ago, both teams were playing for a spot in Atlanta. Last year it was A&M, and Texas was able to derail that. There could be a lot on the line. Once again, in 2026, Texas currently a 2.5 point road favorite. How you feeling, Double R?
Rivalry dominance is how I feel. And with this is going to be, I think, A&M coming in at least 3 losses. At least 3 losses for A&M. You go to at LSU, you go on the road to Bama, and then at Oklahoma the week before is what you have for A&M. So these guys, this is going to be a prideful game. I mean, this may be what A&M playing for the Alamo Bowl or something like that, or I don't know what they're playing for, but it's I think that Texas just it's so cool to watch the dominance that Texas has over the rivals right now. I mean, the 3 games that you absolutely want to win the worst, Texas is doing a really good job of that. I'm not just sure about this A&M team. I'm not sure if Marcel Reed is still going to be the quarterback by the time we get to this game. Ruben Owens, I guess, is the go-to running back. How long has that dude been around? A long time.
It says he's only a junior, so he might be around even longer.
Jeez Louise.
Yeah,
man. This is kind of a no-brainer to me. Again, I'm exuding Texas confidence. I'm good with this line against A&M. I don't care if it's here or I don't care if it's there.
I feel the same way. And Texas has dominated this rivalry. And of course, speaking of hostile environments, we know Kyle Field's going to be a madhouse, but it was 2 years ago and Texas was not phased at all. Hell, the defense pitched a shutout.
Yeah, they got quiet real fast 2 years ago.
Yeah. They did. Yeah, not a lot of making out going on in the stands up there. I think A&M takes a step back. They lost a lot from last year's squad, and their schedule's a lot tougher. Now, they don't have the Notre Dame game in the non-con, but you mentioned some of the road trips that they had. They got a pretty brutal final 5-game stretch of the year where it's at Alabama, at South Carolina. I don't think South Carolina is very good, but the last time the Aggies went there a couple of seasons ago, things did not go well for A&M. That is a tough place to play in the SEC. And then it's Tennessee, at OU, and Texas. So that'll be the stretch that makes or breaks the Aggie season. They lost 4 starters on the offensive line. They lost Casey Concepcion, who was their all-world return man and first-round pick, one of the best receivers in college football last year. They lost Torian York, who was the heartbeat of that defense. They lose Will Lee as well. Look, there's talent.
Yep.
They recruit well. They've got money. They hit the portal hard. They brought in some impact pieces. I don't see another playoff season coming for A&M. I don't think they will be playing for an SEC championship berth. I do think one team will be playing for a trip to Atlanta. I just think it'll be the good guys this time around. And look, I'm not going to pick a Texas blowout, but I would pick a Texas win, and I would pick a Texas cover of 2.5 right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Because it's going to be it's going to be 2 teams in different directions, like I'm talking about, to where you're playing for your bowl berth. I'm not going to sit here and say A&M's going to be playing to bowl eligible. That's not going to be the case. It'll be 3 or 4 losses going in, but you will have a Texas team that rolls into College Station that is looking forward to Atlanta and looking forward to the college football playoff, hopefully at that point. And if you were Texas A&M, what a better time to go in there and kind of blow the curse and repay the favor for what's happened in the past. But I just don't see it happening. I'm extremely confident in this team. And I keep talking about, as the season gets later, I think that you're going to progressively watch this Texas on both sides of the ball get better and better and better. And right now, at this point on November 27th, man, I think they are churning. I think they're churning and burning at this point, or at least that's the hope, I think, for all of us.
That's interesting. I made that prediction about Marcel Reed last year, and I was wrong. That by the time we got to the Lone Star Showdown and have somebody else under center, you think he loses his job midway through the season, despite how long he's been the guy?
I think he does. I think it's just inconsistency, and with him, we talk about mistakes and so forth. It's mistakes at the wrong time. I mean, it's kind of been the constant with him. It's all or nothing, in the words of Milli Vanilli. It's all or nothing with Marcel Reed, it seems like. And I think that at some point, Mike Elko is gonna, especially if you get to where you're 3 or 4 losses in, you get to that point, you got to start looking forward, because this dude, I mean, you got to see what's next. You got to see what's next and start testing the waters.
I don't know if A&M has a good enough backup to where they could make that move, but if they're doing what you're talking about and they've got 3 or 4 losses in the regular season, then there will be plenty of Aggie faithful and plenty of that fake military calling for a change there. So
Yeah,
that'll be interesting. But there you go. There's your look ahead line, some updated lines for 7 games on the 2026 Texas Longhorns schedule. Some of the biggest matchups, of course, that we talked about, and Texas favored in all 7 of them, including the Ohio State game, including the Oklahoma game, including 3 of the 4 road games. Texas will be favored against Mizzou. Spoiler alert. So the Longhorns favored in all 4 of their true road games that they've got in the SEC this season. A lot of confidence from the folks out in Sin City, and we'll see if Texas can reward them for that.
yeah.
All right.
And I think kind of to cap that, I think that people need to go. A lot of folks need to go and really look at the schedule. I mean, I know that we talk about how brutal this schedule is. If you can survive this schedule right here and get yourself into the college football playoff, we're talking about offensive lines getting better and running back rooms gelling. And is Arch Manning going to be the Heisman favorite? Man, if you get through this, you've done something.
Yeah.
You have done something.
100%. I mean, you go 11-1 with this schedule, and look, there's a good chance you're in Atlanta, but you will be very battle tested, and you'll feel like you can hang with anybody in the college football playoff. If you go 10-2, again, I keep bringing it up. Ohio State was 10-2 2 years ago. First year of the 12-team CFP. They didn't make the Big Ten championship game. Hell, they actually stumbled into the playoff because they lost that Michigan game at the end of the year, and they got hot at the right time, and they took off. So you go 10-2, you're going to get in. You go 11-1 or 12-0, then you'll be one of the top 2 or 3 seeds in this thing, and you'll be very confident that you've got everything you need to make a run at a national title, which is the goal. It's a national championship or bust season for Texas, and I'd like to go to Vegas next January. I don't really say no to a Vegas trip. I'd really like to go to get to watch my favorite team play in a national title game. That's icing on the cake right there.
I think that'd be a really good time. I think that would be a really good time. And that may be the understatement of the year.
I make sure to get there early just in case. But if Texas wins that game, then it's going to turn into a long trip. I know they say 3 days is enough time in Vegas. Some say 2 days. Some say 1 night is all you need in that play. Texas wins. I might need a week out there. No, I might die, but I'll be able to die happy because the Horns will be national champs. So it's all good.
Well, just be sure and get some Taco Bell on your way out.
Oh, they do. They got that nice Taco Bell out there.
Got the fancy one, don't they?
They do. They got the cantina, and I think people have gotten married at that Taco Bell before.
Uh-oh.
Just avoid the lettuce.
Hey, yeah, that's right. No lettuce throwing. That's bad lettuce for you.
Yeah. Yeah, they do that instead of the bouquet, and everyone's just running out of the way to to avoid it. Oh, man. Rodney Rodriguez filling in for the Buck today. We got some NFL to talk about, Major League Baseball, soccer, the BBK news. I'll let Rodney pick our next topic in a moment. But before we get back into the fun and conversation, a couple more sponsor shout-outs. Woods Comfort Systems. You hear the Buck talk about his Woods Comfort Systems AC and heating unit all of the time. Look, they're the best HVAC providers in the game. They've been in Central Texas for 70 years. You don't stick around that long if you don't know what you're doing. And you don't stick around that long if you don't treat people the right way. And that's what Wood Comfort Systems is all about. Great people who are timely. They'll tell you they're going to show up at a certain time. They will be there at a certain time. Fantastic people. They do great work. Check out their ratings. Tons of 5-star reviews online. They're A+ rated by the BBB. Yeah, thank you, Coach. You can Google them if you don't believe anything that I'm talking about. Woods Comfort Systems. They've got some great 70-year anniversary sales going on as well. Check out their website, woodscomfortsystems.com, for more information. They do plumbing as well. So HVAC and plumbing, they are your trusted guys and gals here in Central Texas. 512-842-5066. And also, a shout out to our friends at Sleep Cycle Center. Dr. Chad and his great team at Sleep Cycle Center. Look, they want to make your sleeping problems go away. If you snore, if your partner snores, if your roommate snores, if you have a friend who snores, it's like, God, it's annoying. Reach out to Dr. Chad, Sleep Cycle Center. Snoring is not just annoying to you. It could be a serious problem to the snorer, him or herself. And more than 22 million Americans have undiagnosed sleep apnea. It might be you, and it might be a sign of a serious health problem. Stop putting this off. Your sleep is like the most important thing you have in this life. If you're not getting good enough sleep, if you snore, if you're tired during the day, you know who you are. Reach out to our guy, Dr. Chad. Free consultations, for listeners of this show. And you're also going to get $100 off an at-home sleep study if you mention Bucky and BK when you go see them. 2 Austin area locations, one up north, 183 and Breaker, the other in Lakeway off 620. SleepCycleCenters.com for more information.
Yeah.
All right, Double R, giving you the floor here. Where do you want to take this train next, my man?
Let's do a little veer off on the train track here, and believe it or not, let's talk about some World Cup.
Ooh,
the World Cup.
I like that.
Here?
So I got a World Cup take here, right?
All right.
That, and I want to hear what you have on your brain. I just hijacked this segment that you brought up. That's very kind of me. The finals on Sunday, which is great. Very excited. Spain, Argentina, 2:00 Central Time. It's going to be the most watched television event in the world this year. 2 great teams, tons of storylines. There's another match tomorrow. Yeah. There's a 3rd place game between France and England, the 2 semifinal losers. And I know this is normal. I know this happens in worldwide sporting events. There's bronze medal games in the Olympic. Like, I get that there's history here. But does France care? Does England care? Like, are people going to be celebrating that? I'm sure people will go because it's a World Cup match and you get to see it in person. But, like, who cares? Do you care about this? Should we even watch this tomorrow?
This to me is like adding insult to injury.
Yeah.
It's like you weren't good enough to get to the final, so we're going to let you 2 play to see who's the 3rd best team in this tournament. That's silliness, if you ask me. This kind of has that feel like that bowl game. You know, we know it as Texas fans, to where it's like you didn't get into the college football playoff, but you're going to play in this bowl game that's almost as big as the college football playoff. I mean, you're still going to watch it. You're still going to care. You're still going to want to win. Yeah. But if you're playing, what is the rationale in playing this game? I mean, just call it good. If
Team USA was playing in this game, I'd be locked in and really wanting to win, because it's like, oh, we've never finished this good. Like, this would be awesome. Of course, we'd be upset that we're not playing for the final, but this is awesome. 3rd place game. We could beat a really, really good country. You'd be, I think, very proud of that. And if it's a team on a Cinderella type, or let's say like Morocco got here and they're playing in the 3rd place game, I think they would care a lot. But France has been to 2 finals in a row. They won the World Cup in 2018. They were the favorites to win the World Cup this year. They're not happy to be here. England, so close. Oh, it's coming home. It's coming home. Finally, this is the team. We're going to win a major worldwide tournament. And they had a 1-0 lead late against Argentina, and they blew it. They're not happy to be here either. They don't want a 3rd place finish. So again, people will watch. It's in Miami. People are going to go, but it's like, God, insult to injury, I think, is the perfect way to describe what this game is, man. That's 2 teams coming off of devastating losses that had much higher hopes than playing in this one.
Yeah, this is like the NIT of the World Cup. Because the people will have to tell me, maybe you can tell me, BK. I mean, is there so whoever wins this, whoever's the 3rd place team, is there like a huge ceremony after the match where the game where they're like, are they giving medals? Are they doing all of these different, are they celebrating this to where it's like, I mean, playing the country anthems and all these different things? I mean, I would just call it done. Let's just let it pass and look to the final. What's this called? A consolation game? Is that what this is called?
I guess that 3rd place game, I think, is what it is. And I think maybe your comp to like a Cheez-It Bowl is fair, to where it's like you're disappointed, but when the game gets there, it's like, all right, we're going to watch and we're going to win because it's our team that's playing. But yeah, man, there was a lot of upset French people and a lot of upset English people with horrible teeth that will reluctantly watch. And look, I'm not going to go out of my way to watch. It's, I think, 4:00 tomorrow. Like, if I'm home doing nothing, I'll throw it on. If I'm at a bar and it's on, whatever. But, like, I'm going to go out of my way to watch this match on Sunday. And I went out of my way to watch the semis and the quarters because there's so much on the line. I think there's some sort of trophy that's given out tomorrow, and there will be some sort of celebration for whoever finishes 3rd. But, like, I don't know if there's going to be smiles on the faces of the nation that wins. I think the players are going to be like, almost like Canada was when they got the silver medal losing to USA in men's and women's hockey. It's like, that silver medal is supposed to be a big freaking deal. Third place in the world, probably supposed to be a big freaking deal for a tournament like this, but that wasn't what you came here to do.
Yeah, it's like our fantasy football friends. When you get in that league and you get towards the end of the year and you look up and you're in the 4th place game, and it's like, so what? I mean,
it's a humiliation ritual, is what it is it not?
And this is where, FIFA's got a lot of issues, big time issue, a lot bigger than having a 3rd place game.
Yeah,
but let's revamp some of this stuff a little bit. There's work that needs. I mean, seriously, let's. But look, there, like you said, you're going to have people at that game. There's going to be a lot of cash that's going to be flowing through this thing. So when it's all said and done, it's all about dollars and cents, and it makes sense to make some dollars.
That's it. It's the same as why March Madness expands the tournament to play more games. Why college football is expanding the play. I mean, hell, the World Cup. They had 48 teams this year. It's the most they've ever had. They're talking about 64 for the next one.
Yeah.
They want more. Why? The almighty dollar. So FIFA is a business, just like all of these other pro sports leagues, and they're looking for more cash. So 3rd place game, obviously, they're not going to take that away because, again, they're going to sell out. There's going to be interest around the world, and they'll make money off of it. But it's more humiliating for these types of countries than it is like, oh man, we got a lot to play for here. And maybe you get caught up in the moment once the game starts. These guys are going to play hard. I don't doubt that. And Mbappe wants the golden boot, so he's probably going to try to score a couple of goals and whatever. But it's I'm going to be laughing. If these guys are celebrating tomorrow when they score a goal, or these fans are celebrating a lot, I'm going to be like, really? Yeah. You're happy about this? Like, you don't have to pretend. We know how you actually feel. And if you don't feel that way, you're wrong.
I almost think it would be a little more intriguing and entertaining to have like a last place game. The 2 worst teams in the World Cup, let them play. I think that's where you see some heart, desire, and passion, because hell, who wants to be last? I don't want to be last.
You want to watch something like that? Just watch the MLS RR.
The MLS.
That was mean. Now our Austin.
I'll go down to the kids' soccer field over here in Leander and I'll watch them play in the morning and get my fix of that. No offense to the children.
That's funny. All right, so the real match on Sunday, I assume that's where you were planning on going. So now I'll give it to you. What's on your World Cup brain, RR?
Spain and Argentina, right? So Lionel Messi, I mean, and when you want to talk about numbers and selling and making money, I mean, you got that dude in this. That's all you need. That's all you need right here. I'm leaning with Spain in this. That's a pretty stingy defense and again, I haven't been the avid, had it on kind of when Team USA was done, it kind of fizzled out a little bit for me to where it wasn't must-see TV for me anymore. But what I've seen from Spain is a very stingy. Argentina needs to start fast. They better start pretty fast. Otherwise, I think they're going to get put down. I think I got to go with Spain here, man.
Well, the thing is, Argentina hadn't started fast, and they keep winning.
They drag it out.
Goals. So it's like, even if Spain starts fast and Argentina's down 1-0 in the 80th minute or 2-0 in the 80th minute, it's still like, you better hold on to your butts because Argentina's coming.
Yep.
And, going into this Final Four with the top 4 teams, I picked Spain to win. I don't know how you can bet against Argentina. Yeah. Like, Spain looked so good against France. And again, France was the favorite. So the fact that Spain shut them out 1-2-0, they've only conceded 1 goal. I'm glad to not use the word conceded again after Sunday. They've only given up 1 goal in this entire tournament. Like, they've been the more impressive side, I think. But Argentina's got the devil magic going for them right now. Yeah. And they got a golden horseshoe up their rectum, as I said yesterday. I don't know what they got going. They just keep pulling rabbits out of their hats, and there's still more. There's still more rabbits. So I know it's been forever since someone's gone back to back, but golly, I'd like to see Spain win, but I just don't know how you could pick against Argentina with the way they just keep finding ways.
Well, and I think that a lot of that is kind of the storyline with this match or with this game, whatever we call it, is that you have Messi, the veteran. What is he's 39, 40 years old, whatever he is, and Spain has a very young team. The 19-year-old guy is just tremendous. So is this the last run for Argentina? I mean, I don't think so, but I mean that will line up nicely as a storyline, a passing of the torch, maybe. I'm assuming that's maybe how Fox would frame this.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I don't know the ins and outs of soccer enough to be able to sit here and tell you, okay, this is Argentina's last run. Here comes Spain for the next 8 years.
Right. No, Spain's young and they're really good and they're going to be really good. And we talked about Argentina trying to do something that hasn't been done in a while. I don't think any nation has ever had the men's and women's World Cup titles at the same time. And Spain won the last women's World Cup. Now, the Women's World Cup hasn't been around as long, but still, like, they could make some pretty cool history and prove that they are, without a shadow of a doubt, the best soccer nation in the world right now. So, yeah, it's going to be fun. Two great teams. I think it's going to be a great match. I mean, God, if we can get half of what we saw between Argentina and France in that World Cup final 4 years ago, that was stuff of legend, then we're going to be in for something special on Sunday. But what a way for Messi. I could see him playing 4 years from now in the next World Cup. I know he'd be 43, but if this is the final ride, there are a lot of people who know more about this sport who think it is. Then what a way for him to go out. I think most people agree he's the GOAT, but if he wins this one and maybe wins the Golden Boot on top of it, then I think that kind of eliminates all the conversation, does it not?
Yeah. Yeah, I think absolutely you could get another run out of him, and that's one thing that I've learned because I've done a couple of soccer meet and greets for work, and I've gotten to do those with legendary Mexican players, and they talk about the physical part of the game, and they talk about altitude, and they talk about how you condition your body. Obviously, all of that's important, but these guys played late in their years, if we want to call 39 late. They're able to do that. And yeah, I think there's another run. But the one thing that I did want to mention to you, I think I heard you guys talk about this a couple of days ago, is the one thing that I've realized through this World Cup, because I paid a lot better attention to it than I have in the past, is as big as soccer is in the United States. I mean, I know kiddos play it. I know you've got folks that played soccer that still play in different leagues around our area and so forth, and around the country in general. These teams are at a different level. These countries that we're talking about right here versus the United States. The United States, we think we're really good at soccer. We are not. These people are. It is amazing to watch them, right?
These people, huh?
These people.
Yeah. Yeah, no, we're not even close. We're not even close. No. And it's sad and it's disappointing. And maybe in our lifetimes, but probably not, we'll be able to hang with clubs like this or countries like this, but we have a long way to go. And I saw, I think it was Tim Ream. Yeah, it was Tim Ream who had a really rough match against Belgium. And I think a lot of like U.S. soccer diehards kind of knew he was the weak link. He's pretty old and he's lost a step. And I don't know how good he even was in his prime, but having that guy as an important center back on this defense was a recipe for disaster. And the recipe turned into a fire in the kitchen in that match against Belgium in the round of 16. But Tim Ream did an interview with Pat McAfee yesterday. And he's like, man, we were in shock by the way we played. We were in utter disbelief by the way we played against Belgium. And it's like, we weren't. Like, we were hopeful. And we felt like maybe this team was different. And this time it was going to be different. But I wouldn't use the word shock or disbelief that we lost in the round of 16 again to a top 10 team in the world again, to a European team not named Bosnia or Herzegovina again. It's how it always goes. So I'm hearing some of their players, we're shocked. We can't believe that we play. No, we can. Most of Gen Pop absolutely can believe that we came up small in that moment and the lights were a little too bright.
That was when that loss happened, where I kept hearing, well, in the round of 16 again, round of 16 again. Well, I think you're doing good because you've hit your ceiling, obviously, at that. We talk about hitting our ceiling, and it's not, no disrespect to our players, but everybody is just so much better. It's like when you look at high school football. When you look at high school football and you get I don't know, for example, Lake Travis, and they're taking on a clearly inferior team and winning those games. That's what this looks like.
Yeah.
I mean, they're faster. I mean, they just the knowledge of the game, the way that they move the ball around, the way that they. And the other thing that I found so cool, because I mean, as you know, I'm trying to figure out the game of golf. I can't figure out how to maneuver a golf ball off of a golf club. These dudes are doing that with their feet.
Yeah.
And they're just at a totally different level.
Yeah.
Totally different level.
It's the way it is. It's the way it is. And I hope it changes. It'd be awesome if it changed. It's fun being like the best in every other sport in the world, but we are a ways away from being close to that conversation in men's soccer. Women's soccer, we've been great. We're not the defending Women's World Cup champs, but we've got more women's soccer history than anybody else. But the men's team, just lacking and lagging far behind.
Well, it took us a little while to own hockey. Hockey is now an American sport.
Yeah.
So maybe in due time. I don't know, though. I don't know about this one. Hockey's one thing. Soccer's a whole different animal. How much
time? I hope your grandkids get to witness something like that, Double R, because I don't think you and I are going to get the opportunity to.
I don't think so either. And their last name will be Rodriguez, so they'll be playing soccer.
Yeah, we're going to need them. Come on. I guess you had daughters, so it's like, I mean, we're good on the women's soccer front. We need some grandbaby Rodriguez's to help us out.
I'm sending them to Mexico, and you and I go over there and watch them with some Altstadt beer. Watch them in the stands. There you go.
In on that. All right, good stuff. A little World Cup again. The final on Sunday, the third place match. If you want to watch tomorrow afternoon. But this tournament coming to an end, and it's been great. I'm not the biggest soccer fan, but I get sucked into the World Cup every 4 years, and just there's not a lot of other sports going on right now, so it's been nice having some entertaining stuff to watch over this last month or so. Okay, we'll take your thoughts. The Dakota text line 512-222-9328. The YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Twitch live chats are rocking and rolling as well. You can do a little more sports conversation before the BBK news. But real quick, a couple more sponsor shout outs. Start with the friends at Qualis Roofing and Construction. It's been raining a lot, and the rain can impact your roof over time. It's not just hail, it's rain, it's heavy winds, it's flying debris. All of those things can take a toll on a roof. And look, just over time, your roof's going to wear down, just like anything else that you own. You need to have our friends at Qualis Roofing and Construction come out to your place to check on your roof, just to make sure it's okay. You're trying to keep you and your family safe, right? So one of the most important parts of your home, Qualis Roofing, they will come out to your place for free. They will take a look. If everything's fine, they'll tell you everything's fine. If something's wrong, they'll tell you, hey, you might want to look into this fix right now. We can help you file a claim with the insurance company so you don't have to worry about that. And we can get this thing cleaned up so it doesn't become a major leak or a major problem down the line. Fantastic people. They're customer. You think of roofers, you think of like the worst kinds of people in the world. That's not what Qualis is about. These are great guys running the show. They want to take care of you, and they want to make sure that your roof is good to go, and they want your business. Reach out to them, 512-257-0033, or go to qualisgc.com for more information. They got a great team here in Central Texas. They've got a great team in the Metroplex as well. They want your business, qualisgc.com for more info. And also, some love to our friends at Gobundance. Our guy, Matt King, the founder and CEO of Gobundance. We've talked about him a lot. He went on that crazy 2,000-mile bike ride from Mexico to Canada to raise hundreds of thousands of dollars to people all over the country. Again, he started Gobundance. This thing's really cool. I mean, if you're the smartest guy in every room that you're in, maybe you're in the wrong room. You got to push yourself in this life. Things can get boring. Things can get monotonous. You feel like you're doing the exact same thing. You got the 9 to 5. You go home. It's the same thing every time you get home. If you're looking for something more, you're looking to push yourself a little harder. Maybe you're looking to achieve some things that you're probably not achieving right now. Gobundance might be the team that you've been looking for. More than 800 men from all walks of life. They push each other to play bigger and be better in this life. Gobundance.com. These are high achievers too. Entrepreneurs, investors, guys who have had a lot of success, again, in a number of different fields, joining forces to push each other to limits maybe never thought possible. Gobundance.com for more information. GOBUNDANCE.com for more info. All right, going back to you, Double R. Once we got baseball we can get into. We got a little LeBron talk we can get into, or we can just drag out the BBK news for 20 minutes if you'd like.
Let's say kind of tired of LeBron. I think a decision is coming. Whatever. There's that. How about some Texas Major League Baseball talk now, since we are past the All-Star break, and somehow your Rangers and my Astros, as bad as they are, have a chance to get into the postseason.
Yeah, thank God for the Seattle Mariners, who won the division last year, and they were one of the favorites to win it all this year. But the Mariners are marinering. That's a verb. Yeah. We're turning it into one. And they are one game under 500 at the All-Star break. They're not nearly as good as people expected them to be after getting so close to a trip to the World Series in 2025. Yeah, the AL West is wide open. The Rangers on top, 2 games over 500. They've got a 1.5 game lead over Seattle and a 3-game lead over the Astros. And like you said, the Astros are 4 games under 500. Yet they're 3 games out of first place in the West and only a 1.5 games out of a playoff spot in the American League. So this thing is anybody's. Trade deadline just a couple of weeks away. It's like part of me thinks the Rangers and Astros should consider selling, but it's like you're so close to the playoff that you're probably not going to sell. So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't think any of these teams are legit World Series contenders. I think there's kind of a top tier. Obviously, you start with the Dodgers. The Braves are great. The Brewers are great. I think maybe you throw the Rays and the Yankees kind of in there too. But, man, it will be fascinating to watch what happens in the second half of the season. And it's kind of fun to scoreboard watch, Double R. Like sometimes you're in a tight division race and it's like, God, will this team ever lose? You can lose a game, and there's a damn good chance the 2 teams that are right around you in the standings are also losing their games on any given day.
That's what it seems like for both of the Texas teams, to where it's like, just don't lose as much. You can lose, just don't lose as much. And I think I would lean more to the Rangers at this point. Obviously, like you said, they're leading the division, but I think their pitching is more solid. I think that's something where the Astros need to figure out and look for Joe Espada. I mean, if the Astros don't make the playoffs, I mean, is this the end of Joe Espada? I mean, Dana Brown, is this the end of Dana Brown? I mean, do you finally see that shift in that organization there if they don't make the playoffs? Because even as bad as they are, it seems attainable. There have been no highlights for the Astros this year.
No.
And is that the major shakeup that would happen there within the Astros organization if they don't make it? To where I think the Rangers are built a little better where they can make a run. And with the AL, the volatility in the AL, could one of these teams win the American League? I mean, I don't think so.
No, there's no way. I mean, look, it's all about getting hot at the right time.
Right.
Like the Rangers limped into the playoffs when they won the World Series in 2023, and they got hot and they won the whole thing. So I don't know if they had the best roster in baseball that year. They just did what they needed to do in the month of October. So hypothetically, it could happen. But I think Seattle's still the best team in the American League West. I mean, if they can get like Cal Raleigh's having a horrible year, Naylor's having a horrible year, Julio Rodriguez is not having a horrible year, but not the year that he's had, and we've grown accustomed to him having in recent seasons. So I just feel like that offense, which is 28th in the league in runs per game, has more to give. Their pitching staff still the strength of that team, and some of those guys aren't having the years that we expected them to have. But I think Seattle is the most talented team in the AL West. And I don't think the Rangers or the Astros have the talent that a Tampa has, that the Yankees have, that a Seattle has, like a team that they'd have to beat potentially, 3 out of 5 or 4 out of 7 in the playoffs. I don't see it coming, but I've been wrong before, and I wouldn't hate being wrong this time.
And it is going to be fascinating to watch if you buy or sell, because you've managed to stumble yourself into being in contention. So do you want to put some faith that you're going to be able to contend, or do you just want to call it good? Because like we said, you can still lose games and possibly find yourselves in the middle of this. So it's very much a coin flip what these teams are going to do. And I think for the Astros, I mean, just the immense pressure that you're going to find on Yordan Alvarez.
Yeah.
I mean, I think everything is going to run through that dude. Altuve slumping. I mean, is Altuve finally getting old? I mean, the pitching staff. I mean, I could not believe you want to talk about pulling a Band-Aid off of a very hairy leg or arm. Lance McCullers no longer an Astro.
Yeah.
Whoa.
They traded him for Prince Fielder's kid also.
How about that?
Bury me in the H. Now they're burying him in Milwaukee. And look, the Brewers are good. They're contenders right now. I don't know if that's like a total sell move by the Astros, but trading a major league guy for a minor league guy. So maybe that gives you some indication of where Houston is right now. Look, their injuries have been brutal this year. I mean, Hunter Brown has missed 2 months of the season. He has one more win than you and I do right now.
Yeah.
That guy was third in the American League in Cy Young voting last year. Imai, the big offseason pitcher acquisition, has been awful. He's part of a no-hitter against the Rangers, though. Jose Altuve, father time catching up to him a little bit. Brian Abreu, who was one of the best bullpen arms in the league for a couple of years, he has not been super reliable in the back end. So, look, the good news is they've got Yordan. He's awesome. I think Hunter Brown, as he gets healthier, will get back to being awesome. Those guys can help, and the best news is that the American League West sucks, but yeah, Astros fans are still living in the past and obviously still pissed with Jeff Lunau having to get let go and letting AJ Hinch go and all of that. Everyone is always compared to those guys, and Dana Brown and Joe Espada have not done a very good job of keeping that train going. So it probably should be a make or break second half for the top of the Astros organization.
Yeah, and I think for the Rangers, if you can get a healthier Corey Seager, moving forward, I mean that's you can't count on that guy being in the lineup, and that's what happens there. That's why I would lean on with the Texas teams. I think I'd lean more towards Texas or towards the Rangers, where it's just more solid. And so many questions that we're seeing there with the Astros, but Seattle is the best team in the division. They are just drastically underachieving, which is what they do. I mean, this feels like the Seattle that we know and love, and a reason that we have the Rangers and the Astros always hanging around in the AL West.
Yeah, no, the Rangers, you're right. Seager's the start. Langford keeps getting hurt. Evan Carter's not very good. Josh Smith, it's just they got the pitching. They invested a lot in their pitching. Their offense still leaves a lot to be desired. So I don't know. It'll be fun to watch. It'll be painful to watch because you might have 85 wins to win that division this year. Hell, you might be under 500 and be able to win that division this year the way things are going. But yeah, it's a lot of mediocre baseball being played in the American League West, and that's good because your teams have a shot, but not what we've not what we like to see here in the great state of Texas.
And when you talk about Astros fans living in the past, which I am one, I am an Astros fan. If and when they get eliminated from playoff contention, it's going to break my heart. Oh, they were right there.
Yeah.
As bad as they are, they were right there.
This can't be one of those years, man. It doesn't break your heart when you know you're not going to win at all, right?
But you're saying there's a chance.
Like Team USA losing to Belgium didn't break of course I wanted them to win, but it's like, we're never winning this whole thing. In a year where it's like 2019, you lose in the World Series, you feel like you're way better than the team you lost to. Those are the heartbreakers. When you go 83-79 and you miss the playoffs by one game, that can't break your heart, can it?
But it's like you're saying there's a chance. I mean, this is the life of a Cowboy fan, where it's like the Cowboys get eliminated with 4 games left in the season. You're still brokenhearted because there was a chance. There was a chance. That's why I'm glad the Spurs, to my fandom, the Spurs are back where you're used to that, to where it's like you're brokenhearted because you lose in the final.
Right.
That's a little more right there, right?
Different ball game. Yep. And it's the Dodgers world, and we're all just living in it. So I know Milwaukee's been great. I know Tampa's been great. I know Atlanta's having a big time bounce back season, but we all know what the Dodgers have, and they've got the best record in the big leagues. And it's tough picking somebody else. It's Tiger versus the field conversations that you have with the Dodgers right now. That's how freaking good they are. And I would lean Dodgers. As crazy as that might sound, I would still lean Dodgers there.
Yeah, the Dodgers. And I see Bear mentions right there, and I don't know if this is in the BBK news, but Shohei Ohtani, that's a guy? Did you
Oh
see
yeah.
Mike Tyson?
I did
Okay.
see that this morning. I didn't cut it up, but it will be played. Yeah, the ESPYs from
That's a guy.
a couple of nights ago, where you feel like everybody knows who Shohei Ohtani is at this point. Like people who don't watch sports like that, they know who Shohei. How can you not know who Shohei Ohtani is? He's the best athlete on the planet right now, and he's in a bunch of commercials too. It's not like a
Yeah,
Mike Trout situation where it's like he's the best baseball player, but he doesn't really do anything. Nobody knows. Yeah,
right.
Shohei's like out in the limelight, and yeah, Mike Tyson thought Shohei Ohtani was a woman.
Yeah.
And he
There you
admitted
go.
he admitted that on a hot mic at the ESPYs the other night. Mike Tyson, the gift that keeps on giving,
Yeah.
for sure. All right, well, we'll get to the BBK news. We do have a couple of videos for the people today. And we'll start with one that you sent me, Double R. And you sent me this. I think CB sent me this. I think 4 or 5 people have sent me this one, and it's a goodie. And it's a local-ish story. It's from the Houston area, but it's in Texas, so we'll call it local enough. We'll show this clip. We'll start with the sound. It is a woman in her apartment, and she is exercising. Can we call this exercising? Doing a workout?
That has been confirmed as a very good form of exercise for ladies. I guess for guys too. I mean, I wouldn't try it, but
Yeah.
that's been confirmed.
It looks like she's like watching a video on how to do this. So kind of a workout video, right? Doing the workout at her place. Well, here this is with the sound first.
Every 2 or 3 steps here, that is when the arm starts to wrap. That is when you're pulling too much.
Go.
And go again. So keep
Watching a
leaning
video.
away
She's got a
from the
pole
floor,
in the
looking at
apartment.
the top wrist, and you can readjust the hand.
And down she goes.
The apartment is flooded.
Yeah. So if you aren't watching, it's a woman living in an apartment. She's watching a how-to video on how to pole dance, and she's got a pole, a temporary pole, one side on the ground, the other side on the ceiling, but not as attached as it was supposed to be. And she tries this maneuver, and the pole comes sliding down, and it hits a sprinkler head, and out comes a lot of water.
And that's where, I would think in your preparation, you would kind of think, okay, what if something goes wrong? That thing is placed right in the path of that sprinkler.
Yeah.
I mean, it is sitting right there. Any movement to the back, not to the behind, any movement to the back, the ensuing flood is going to happen. And that's exactly what she did. Not
Dude,
adhered to
that
the
is
top.
a couple of thoughts. Number one, this is a crazy amount of water here coming out of this sprinkler. Like, does every sprinkler head have that? Is that what mine has too? Like, if I accidentally run into that thing or hit that thing, like, is that it's just that much and it doesn't stop?
That's what I'm curious to know, and that's why I keep looking up, because there's like one over here, and I'm like, what if that thing opens up? Now I can tell you, I have seen in my real estate days, as we would build condominiums and so forth, they would come out and do sprinkler tests, and they would open those things up, and it is gushing water. But how do you make it stop?
I know. Like, look, if your place is on fire, you obviously want that much water to put it out. But yeah, if it's an accident, like, and it takes a lot you can't just like bump into one of these things and it's going to open up. You got to hit it with some force. But yeah, her place flooded clearly. And, everything was damaged. There goes the pole as well.
Well, and I love at the end of this how when it's all said and done, she rushes over. I mean, like I said, I don't know how you turn those things off. It's not like a fire alarm where you can go push the button and turn it off if it's a false alarm or whatever. But she makes darn sure to get over and turn the phone off. Let's turn the phone off.
Yeah, she got to stop filming.
She's videoing herself here.
I don't know what you do. It looks like there's a dog too. Maybe pick up the dog first and like make sure the dog is okay. I don't know. Maybe she's getting shoes to walk out of her place. Like, what do you do if you're in this situation? Do you try to grab as many things as you can? Like, let me get my laptop. Let me get a couple of valuables. Obviously, let me get the dog and then go. Or are you just like, all right, let me literally grab the dog and we're leaving this place. We're not even going to mess around here.
And furthermore, with that, I mean, obviously, this has gone viral. Everybody's seen this because, thank you, lady, you taped it. You put it on film.
Oh,
What's that phone call like when you call the property manager? Hey, I've got some water damage. I want to see if you guys can come remedy this. I mean,
Yeah.
how do you explain said water damage?
Well, now that the video, she might have tried to make something up, but now that she put this online, everyone knows exactly what happened. Yeah, no, hopefully she's got renter's insurance, I guess. She's liable for this. This isn't a freak thing. This is maybe she's a little too big, perhaps, to be on the pole. Maybe there's a weight limit on that pole that she probably got for Amazon, and
little weight.
Bucky's usually the body shamer on this show, so I'm just saying what he would probably say, trying to be like the Buck.
Well, you can see there kind of in our best play-by-play modes here, you can kind of see the weight distribution go solely to the back when she attempts to get up on the pole. And I think the other part of the problem was that she didn't get high enough. You know, she's still kind of rolling around the rim.
Oh, you're the expert here.
Well, you know, I know some exercise people.
Nice.
You know, she seems to be a little low on the pole, and the weight kind of takes you back. And then I just go back to always know your surroundings. It's like Coach says about walking across the street and all these things. Know your surroundings, because man, that sprinkler's right there.
Well, it's awesome. You know, it's like sometimes I wonder why people film things, and I wish people didn't film as much stuff as they did. But I'm glad she was filming this, because that gave us some good content and a pretty hilarious video on the interwebs.
There she went.
Her name is Misty, by the way. Double R.
Last question for you, my friend. So if you are the proprietor of a of one of those establishments, and she comes in and shows you her portfolio, here's how I perform. Are you hiring her? Midday shift?
I don't know, man. Like I'd be worried. Now, look, you're confident if you're a strip club owner that like your poles are installed correctly.
You hope.
It's not going to happen. And there have been bigger women's on poles, plenty of them, as my old heifer days remember.
Allegedly, yeah.
No, like I don't know. I need to see more than that.
Got to give her a chance, right?
Like I like that she's practicing. I like that she's taking notes. She's trying to get better at her craft. I respect that. She's not just walking into my club thinking, hey, man, I'm good looking enough. Like, I just want some money. Give me the job. It's Houston. It's competitive out there.
That's true.
All right. You could walk into a strip club in Abilene maybe, and it's like, oh, sure, we need some of you. Whatever. We'll take you. Houston's like, that's the Super Bowl of strippers, man. That is like the Argentina soccer of strip clubs.
Whoa.
Okay?
Wow.
Atlanta, maybe Magic City. Atlanta's got to be in that conversation. You think New York and LA, the major city. Houston's a big deal. Ask James Harden. He knows all about that.
Yeah, he does.
So you better be practicing. You better be honing your craft if you want to work in this town. Well, go to Galveston if you're not going to practice. If you're in H-Town, if you're inside these city limits, you got to put in the work.
Well, I would say that her ability right now is kind of like the U.S. men's team in the World Cup. Needs some work. Needs to elevate a little bit, but she'll figure it out. I hope.
She ain't on Team USA level. She ain't that good. She's getting eliminated in the group stage right there.
Oh man, she's
maybe
like Peru or one.
Somebody who didn't qualify. She's Israel or something. Maybe that's the universe telling her to sit down and maybe find a different job, you know?
or be the waitress. Be a waitress. You don't have to climb the pole. You just shovel the drinks. They'll tip you well for that too.
Oh God, that is great. That is great. All right, why today's not so bad? July 17th, National Tattoo Day. You have any tats, Double R?
I do. I have a couple. I do have a couple, and you know, I think, hey, maybe I'll get this Angry Bevo. Ooh, I don't know.
Probably
about that.
Would hurt a little. I mean, I think every tattoo hurts a lot. I haven't gotten one. The thought of that makes me cringe a little bit.
It's the aftercare. It's the aftercare to where you have to make sure, you know, do all these different things or whatever to make sure that you don't mess it up. It's kind of like when you have a root canal, you know, where you don't want to have a dry socket. It's the post procedure stuff. Yeah, you have to. Yeah, tattoos, man. There's a lot.
Yeah, where are we talking? Somewhere where the sun don't shine? Are we talking tramp stamp?
Oh no, they're on the back and on the arms over here. Yeah, I keep stuff hidden.
There you go.
business purposes, so, but, I remember as a kid, it was like anyone with a tattoo, kind of sketchy, got to watch him. Might be a thug, might be a hoodlum.
Yep.
Hell, now it's a way of life.
Hell,
now you're cool if you have them. The more, the better.
There you go. I think tattoos look weird on pasty white people like me. I think I'm too white to have a tattoo, but there are plenty of people who look like I do who have plenty of them. So, hey, to each their own. I wish Bucky was here to share his butterfly tattoo that he has. That's a classic. Also, World Emoji Day. What's the best emoji? Is it the smiling pile of shit?
Yeah, the smiling pile of shit, and then you have the other one that's the middle finger. I've seen that middle finger one a lot. A lot of times in a fun way. Of
course, the zucchini is a classic, right?
Oh yeah, everybody loves zucchini. Yeah,
the peach is a classic.
Peach, yeah.
The one I use the most, probably the hook'em. The fact that there's a hook'em horns emoji is pretty cool. I think that one gets the most, or just the cry laugh. That's a pretty good one.
The fire one, kind of cool.
100 used to have a good run.
100, yeah, 100 was a lot. I didn't know what that meant for a while, and I'm like, oh, 100%. Oh, okay, I'm old. Come on.
Yeah, exactly. And then a couple famous moments in news and pop culture. 1902, Willis Carrier designs the first modern air conditioning system in Brooklyn, New York.
Oh, I bet Bucky was so excited to feel that cool air.
Is that the greatest invention of all time? I mean, plumbing maybe is right there. And
I will tell you air conditioning, because at this very moment, when we are done with this program, I'm going to go get my work truck because the AC quit.
Yeah.
And I did a drive from about, I would say Alvarado to Leander with no AC a couple of weeks ago.
What would you rather have? I mean, that's brutal. How far is that drive?
That was probably about 2.5 hours, almost 3 hours.
God, windows down. Could you go windows down, or are you gonna have stuff flying out of the car?
There was windows down, but even that got hot because I think that day it was like 101 driving.
Yeah,
and it's like, are you kidding me? I got on the scale when I got home. I think I lost 4 pounds on that drive.
Yeah, you're stopped at any stoplight or stop sign too, and you're dying. If you're stuck in traffic, you're dying.
Yeah.
But what's more important, like plumbing or air conditioning?
I think plumbing, because, and I think where you really feel the value of the plumbing is if you go to an outdoor fest, you go to a sporting event or whatever, where maybe multiple times you have to use a porta-john.
Yeah.
And that's where you go into one of those things. And here's my PSA that I tell people all the time, friends. When you go to a porta-john, close that lid.
Oh.
Close the lid. I mean, don't leave that thing open and there's a steaming batch of.
But then you got to touch it, man. I ain't touching that. If it's open, it's staying open. I'm sorry.
Oh, God. It's just. I know they put that little pipe up on the top to get some of that ventilation out of there, but you cannot escape that smell. So yes, plumbing. Without plumbing, I don't mind sweating. I don't mind sweating a little bit.
You got fans, I guess, if your AC's out, but you can also use the bathroom outside.
Yeah.
Pick up after yourself like a dog. All right. 1955, Disneyland opens, and then a couple of quick birthdays. David Hasselhoff. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Snapper from The Young and the Restless.
There you go.
That's way back.
It's way back.
Way back.
You're going to go Knight Rider or Baywatch, but that works too.
Yeah.
Luke Bryan, Robin Ventura. Hope his face is okay. Mike Conley, Le'Veon Bell, and Billie Jean King.
Billie Jean King. How about you? Remember? I want to go back and watch. I've never watched in full when she took on the gentleman, where they had the Battle of the Sexes, I guess is what it was. I'd like to go watch that. We need to do that in the modern day. Have one of those things.
Well, we had the Team USA women's soccer team play the FC Dallas under 14 squad, and FC Dallas under 14 won pretty handily. I think that they didn't really want that publicized like the Battle of the Sexes was.
Yeah.
Not really the result the ladies were looking for, I don't think.
And that was the Astrodome, wasn't it? I think they played that in the Astrodome.
Yeah, it was
Wow.
Bobby Riggs was the male player, right?
Yeah, Bobby Riggs. That's right.
Bobby Riggs. So
He's talking a big game, trying to be the Dwayne the Rock Johnson, and he got humbled in that contest.
Yes, he did. All right. Well, this was fun, Double R. Thanks for doing this, man.
Man, always a great time, man. Hope any weekend. Are you traveling? Are you home this weekend?
Here this weekend. A lot of travels coming up. Get a few more trips in before the season starts, but here in Central Texas this weekend, hopefully the weather seems like it's going to dry up, which is nice. So looking forward to just kicking it here. What about you?
Same. I'm here. A little World Cup, a little racing, a little whatever. Just gonna keep it low, and use the AV Consultations home system all weekend.
You and me both. We need to meet up for that match on Sunday. Grab a couple of beers or
Yes,
something.
sir.
Been
Absolutely.
too long. Been
Absolutely.
too long. All right. Well, thanks to Double R. Thanks to you people for joining us. The Buck will be back on Monday. At least that's the plan. Say a prayer for the Buck if that's your thing. Texted his lovely wife yesterday. Procedure went well. He's recovering. She's like, he's not trying to get his keys and go somewhere. I'm like, oh, he must be really hurting. Like, it takes a lot to keep that dude at home. But hopefully doing all right and should be good to go for a Monday show. But y'all have a fantastic weekend. Thanks for tuning in all week long. And we will talk to y'all on Monday.
Hook up.